Bitter criticism on my left foot. My left foot is in a critical situation after collapsing from more than 2 meters, walking some pit bull. So pit bulls are not such a great influence. Running after a pit bull. I'm not talking about Americans, but you got it. Americans are not such a great influence neither. I will keep reading Cgtn. The first news was interesting. It was about a city. I'm going to sit down. Yeah. The first news, it was about Planet City Xiamen. It was interesting. It was about Xi Jinping. It was great. The second says China, France agree to promote multilateralism, boost global certainty. But this kind of news is kind of too official, But I'm going to read the third one about BRICS. Cgtn poll: expanded BRICS further in new era of multilateral cooperation. It says, and there's a photograph. A worker walks past a BRICS summit banner at the Museum of Modern Art, the venue for the BRICS Summit 2025 in Rio de Janeiro. The 5-color Amazon kapuk. 5-color Amazon kapuk tree. Oh, there is a logo. Kapuk tree takes root in fertile soil. Its branches reaching towards the sky. Yeah, it's an interesting logo. Symbolizing unity, inclusivity, and development. The BRICS emblem reflects vibrant vitality of the BRICS cooperation mechanism as the first summit following the inclusion of Indonesia and 10 partners countries into the BRICS framework. The debut of the quote-unquote expanded BRICS has attracted significant global attention. A poll released by Cgtn for global netizens shows that 91.2% of respondents believe the BRICS cooperation mechanism has become an important force in promoting a multipolar world with equality and order, as well as inclusive and shared economic globalization. In recent years, regional conflicts have persisted and tariff bullying has become increasingly rampant. The BRICS cooperation mechanism stands out as one of the few bright spots in the world economy struggling to recover. Member countries have actively promoted local currency settlements and the construction of an independent financial system through initiatives such as the new Development Bank and the Contingent Reserve Arrangement. I don't know what. It's like a bank, yeah, something like a bank, bringing development gains and opportunities to more developing nations. According to the survey, 94.7% of respondents believe the BRICS mechanism has not only reduced member countries' dependence on the US dollar, but also strengthened their voice in global financial governance. Additionally, 89.1% praised BRICS for providing valuable practical experience in driving world economic growth and helping shape a fairer more inclusive global governance system. More inclusive global governance system. Another 91.2% said BRICS countries are expected to become an quote-unquote accelerator of global economic recovery and trade development. BRICS countries are also deepening cooperation in emerging fields such as low carbon technologies and cross-border e-commerce. A total of 93.3% of respondents believe this collaboration has helped optimize and upgrade economic structures while offering practical pathways towards achieving global sustainable development goals. With its recent expansion, the BRICS group now represents nearly half of the global population, over 30% of global economic output, and contributes more than 50% of global economic growth. When adjusted for purchasing power parity, the group's total economic output surpasses that of the G7. It has become a key multilateral platform for emerging economies and the global south. The survey shows that 88.9% of respondents believe BRICS' global influence continues to grow. Another 89.1% believe this will help advance global governance in a more democratic and just direction. Furthermore, 91.7% agree that the BRICS countries, guided by the spirit of openness, inclusivity, and win-win cooperation, offer important insights for building a more just, democratic, and equitable international order. From promoting the BRICS spirit of openness, inclusiveness, and cooperation, to building the quote-unquote 4 major partnerships among member states, from the innovative quote-unquote BRICS Plus model to support for expansion, China has consistently championed mutual development within BRICS. In the survey, 90.4% of respondents recognized China's role and express hope it will continue to provide experience and opportunities for emerging economies and global south countries to achieve modernization. The survey was conducted on Cgtn'S English, Spanish, French, Arabic, and Russian platforms. A total of 6,541 overseas netizens participated within a 24-hour period. I never participated. And there's a North American news. North America, Trump says tariff letters to 12 countries signed floats range of 10% to 70%. There's a photograph, Donald Trump MAGA hat, MAGA cap. US President Donald Trump speaks to reporters on board Air Force One en route from Joint Base Andrews, Maryland to Morristown Municipal Airport. 3 minutes size. US President Donald Trump said that he had signed letters to 12 countries outlining the various tariff levels they will face on goods they export to United States with the quote-unquote take it or leave it take it or leave it policy offers to be sent out on Monday. Trump speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One as he traveled to New Jersey declined to name the countries involved, saying that it will be made public on Monday. Subtitle: Floats range of 10% to 70%. In a global trade war that has upended the financial markets and set off a scramble among policymakers to guard their economies, Trump in April announced a 10% base tariff rate and additional amounts for most countries, named ranging as high as 50%. However, all but the 10% base rate were subsequently suspended for 90 days to allow more time for negotiations to secure deals. That period ends on July 9, although Trump early on Friday said the tariffs could be even higher, ranging up to 70%, with most set to go into effect August 1st. Quote, I signed some letters and they will go out on Monday, probably 12, end quote. Trump said when asked about his plans on the tariff front, different amounts of money, different amounts of tariffs, end quote. They will range in value from maybe 60 to 70% tariffs to 10 and 20% tariffs, end quote, Trump added. Subtitle, Shift of Strategy. Trump and his top aides initially said they will launch negotiations with scores of countries on tariffs rates, but the US president has soared on that process after repeated setbacks with major trading partners including Japan and the European Union. He touched on that briefly late on Friday, telling reporters, quote, the letters are better, much easier to send a letter, end quote. He did not address his prediction that some broader trade agreements could be reached before July 9 deadline. The shift in the White House's strategy reflects the challenges of completing trade agreements on everything from tariffs to non-tariff barriers such as bans on agricultural imports, and especially on an accelerated timeline. Most past trade agreements have taken years of negotiations to complete. The only trade agreements reached to date are with Britain, which reached a deal in May to keep a 10% rate and won preferential treatment for some sectors, including autos and aircraft engines, and with Vietnam cutting tariffs on many Vietnamese goods to 20% from his previously threatened 46%. Many US products will be allowed to enter Vietnam duty-free. A deal aspect with India has failed to materialize, and EU diplomats on Friday said they have failed to achieve a breakthrough in trade negotiations with the Trump administration and may now seek to extend the status quo to avoid tariff hikes. So, not working. Well, maybe that's Trump policy, you know. And there's a last news, thousands of years on Confucianism, global influence endures. I'm going to read this later because this is a dangerous neighbor. No, because it's too specific, Confucianism. But this is interesting. It is interesting. So next time, I know the first and the last one about Xiamen and Confucius.